I'm Ace. Good to have you here. Let me ask you something. What if every search on your site pointed to a tiny product that pays for your hosting? Last month, a friend turned a single query into $24 in a day. Not drama, just steady money from a clear ask. Sounds small, but small can be reliable. Here's the core idea. People land on your pages with a specific problem. If you match that problem with a micro offer, a 5 to 20 minute deliverable, you skip the guesswork and create offers that convert without hype. Today I want to give you a system you can actually run. Find the viable queries, build one tight deliverable, and then validate and scale it. By the end, I'll give you a 60-minute task to start today. Let's begin with how to spot viable intent. Think of search data as a room full of post-it notes. Most are useful. A few have dollar signs on them. The trick is spotting the language that signals someone wants something ready-made. Words like template, download, script, sample, or direct phrasing like fill this out for X. So where do you actually find those viable queries? First, Search Console in your site search logs. Filter for long-tail strings and action verbs. Those logs are gold because they show what people typed on your site. Second, forum threads and comment sections. Reddit, niche Facebook groups, product forums. If the same question pops up in different threads, that's a repeated need. Third, support emails and help desk tickets. Those are direct purchase queues. Someone tried, hit a wall, and would often pay to skip it. A quick heuristic: score queries by specificity and urgency. Specific plus urgent equals higher buy probability. Example, CSV import template for QuickBooks beats how to import CSV. Which one would you rather build? Okay. Once you have a candidate query, you don't need an epic product. You need a micro deliverable that removes the last barrier to success. Cheat sheets, one-click templates, short screencasts, tiny scripts. Those are the formats that work. Here's a simple template. State the exact question in the title. Give the 3 steps that solve it. Include one downloadable asset that does the work, and add a 2 to 3 minute annotated example. Price it so impulse buys make sense. Usually $3 to $29. It sounds small because it is, but small is powerful. The minimal checklist, the exact query in the title, one single file asset, PDF, CSV, or script, a short usage note so it works without support, and a one-click checkout. Imagine a user downloads a CSV, drops it into their app, and it just works. That moment is everything. That's the product. Now test and scale without ceremony. Don't build a catalog first. Do a simple paywall A/B or add an inline buy button on the page that matches the query. Use Gumroad, PayHip, or Stripe checkout so you can be live in minutes. Track 3 numbers: conversion rate for that query, revenue per visitor, and refund rate. If a $9 product converts above 0.5% on a targeted query, you're in interesting territory. If conversion is below 0.1% and refunds climb, pause and talk to your first buyers. Not glamorous, reliable. When something sells, scale horizontally. Apply the same micro product to neighboring queries or bundle 2 close offers. Automate fulfillment and add a tiny upsell, an editable source file, or a 15-minute consult to increase LTV. Quick real example. Check this out. A niche site about residential solar kept getting rebate form checklist searches. Instead of a long guide, they made a fillable checklist plus a pre-filled template and a 1-minute annotated example. Setup time, about 90 minutes. First week, 2 sales at $12 each. That small win paid for hosting and knocked down repetitive support requests. Tiny product, tangible benefit. A few guardrails so you don't waste time. Don't chase raw volume. Focus on buyer intent. Validate with a paywall or 2 early conversations. And keep checkout friction under 3 clicks. Also, test the full purchase and fulfillment flow yourself and with 2 people who aren't you. If it breaks for them, it will break for buyers. All right. Here's the 60-minute task you can run this afternoon. Open Search Console or your site search logs. Pull 5 long-tail queries with transactional wording. Pick the most specific one. Sketch a single file deliverable that fixes the last step and publish a Gumroad listing. That's your test. What's one search you keep ignoring? Think about that for a moment. If a few of these micro wins cover hosting, a tool subscription, or a contractor, the payoff compounds. When you stitch several micro products into a simple catalog, you create a predictable revenue layer on top of content you already own. If you try this, 2 final notes. Talk to your first 2 buyers. Ask them why they bought. And automate the boring parts so you can repeat the experiment across other queries in an hour or less. Well, that's enough to think about for today. Appreciate you spending a few minutes with me. I'll catch you in the next one. I'm Ace. Let me leave you with one question. What one search on your site could become a tiny paid product this week? Subscribe for more Systems Forward episodes, and we'll walk through the next steps together.